Your number's still 911? Alrighty then.
Not everyone starts with a fairy tale beginning, and Hollywood often highlights this truth when we look at our favorite stars.
Move! Move! He's asleep!
Have you ever wondered which legendary celebrities were dealt terrible hands, yet they still transform their struggles into successful stories? From overcoming adversity to achieving their wildest dreams, here are some of our favorite stars who have inspired us with their remarkable journeys from rags to riches. Trust us, their incredible transformations will leave you motivated and ready to chase your own dreams. Many might not know this, but before becoming the man who lost it all, Sean Combs, also known as Diddy, Puff Daddy, or whatever the police will call him, was actually a perfect example of rags to riches. With a net worth of a staggering $1 billion by 2022, he achieved this feat through his music empire, clothing line, and of course his illustrious venture into the world of vodka with Ciroc. The Diddy story is truly remarkable. Born into Harlem and raised in Mount Vernon, New York, Combs' early life was a far cry from the lavish lifestyle he now flaunts today, or used to flaunt. After his father was murdered when Combs was just a toddler, the family struggled to make ends meet. However, this humble beginning did not stop him. While attending Howard University, Combs quickly demonstrated his talent for networking and promotion, which led him to secure an internship at Uptown Records. From there, it was a meteoric rise. His entrepreneurial spirit led to the creation of Bad Boy Records, giving us hits from the likes of Notorious B.I.G. But hold on, it hasn't always been smooth sailing. Combs is known for his demanding personality. While he's a genius behind the scenes, reports suggest that he can be a tad difficult to deal with in person. Sure, he might have been charming and charismatic, but with what we know today, let's just say his story has to be Hollywood's wildest roller coaster. And speaking of roller coasters, stay tuned, because Oprah's story will leave you spellbound. Hold on to your hats, folks, because Oprah Winfrey's story is the true definition of a rags to riches fairy tale. Born in poverty in rural Mississippi to a teenage mother, Oprah faced a childhood filled with hardship. She moved from one difficult situation to another, enduring neglect and abuse, but her resilience was truly legendary. A breakthrough moment came when she won a scholarship to Tennessee State University. This was her first step toward destined stardom. Soon enough, thanks to her big break on local TV in Nashville, Oprah quickly became a household name. Then came the launch of The Oprah Winfrey Show in 1986, which was quite literally the game changer. But it didn't come without its hurdles. While many adore her as a nurturing mentor, others have whispered about her demanding nature and high expectations of those around her. But those close to her sometimes say she can be a tough cookie to crack. But can you blame her? She's built an empire from the ground up, turning pain into purpose, and she is not one to settle for anything less than excellence. For many today, Jim Carrey is the man who brought us the unforgettable Ace Ventura and The Mask, and his story reads like a roller coaster of resilience and wit. Before he became a household name, Jim was a struggling comedian, often sleeping in his beat-up car as he chased his dreams in Los Angeles. I mean, this was the guy who would eventually deliver iconic lines like, "Alrighty then."
Your number's still 911? Alrighty then.
Hustling in dive bars, perfecting his craft, and desperately hoping for his big break. But it wasn't all laughs and applause. Jim faced relentless rejection along with a tough upbringing that saw him navigate the struggles of a family living paycheck to paycheck. His father lost his job when Jim was just a teenager, forcing the family to make ends meet in the unlikeliest of ways. Carrey would sometimes bring laughter to ease the tension at home, slowly working on a talent that would soon turn into a lucrative career. Fast forward to today, and the world knows him as a comedic genius and a beloved actor.
Alrighty then.
Yet behind the laughter lies a man who's often described as difficult or quirky in real life, leaving fans wondering what it's like to meet the man behind the mask. If you think his case was bad, then the next person will have you wondering. Pull out your wands, because her story is simply magical. To people around the world, J.K. Rowling is the literary sorceress who conjured up the enchanting world of Harry Potter.
Move! Move! He's asleep! He's boring.
But for many readers, she is the woman who built a world that consumed our lives. Before she filled our bookshelves with magic and wonder, Rowling's life was far from storybook perfect. She was a single mother living on welfare, scribbling her dreams into napkins in quaint cafes, desperately hoping that her words would one day reach the world. That's correct. Rowling was once in a place where survival meant making tough choices, wondering how she would afford her next meal while raising her young daughter. Fate was cruel, and the heartbreaking rejection letters from publishers piled up like the snow in Hogsmeade, but Rowling never let go of her dreams. Her determination to create a story that would resonate with readers of all ages was relentless. After all, who could have predicted that a tale about a boy wizard would one day spark a global phenomenon? While Rowling has become a beloved figure in literature, whispers swirl around her not-so-charming encounters with fans. The woman who once captured our hearts can sometimes seem distant in person, leading to some juicy rumors about her personality. But can you blame her? It took a lot to get to where she is today, and who knows? Maybe she's so quirky because she hid the Elder Wand somewhere. Okay, so this one is surprising. Picture this. A young girl in Long Island, New York, who fought tooth and nail against a life of poverty and chaos. Sounds pretty terrible, right? Well, that was Mariah Carey. With a biracial background, Mariah faced her fair share of challenges, including tumultuous family life that saw her living in a cramped apartment and often struggling to make ends meet. But don't count her out just yet. She discovered her extraordinary vocal talent while working odd jobs to support herself, and it wasn't long before her big break came knocking. In 1990, Mariah signed with Columbia Records, and the rest, as they say, is history. Her self-titled debut album went multi-platinum, catapulting her into superstardom. But fame came with its own baggage. Tales of diva demands and on-set meltdowns often overshadowed her brilliance. Yet, through the storms, Mariah emerged not just as a pop icon, but as the ultimate holiday queen with her timeless hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You. But oh, the glitzy success didn't come without its fair share of turbulence. Mariah's reputation for being less than sweet to meet at times has made headlines, adding fuel to the gossip fire. And just when you think her story couldn't get any juicier, wait until you hear about the next muscle-bound movie star who turned pain into triumph. From the streets to the silver screen, this Hollywood powerhouse didn't just waltz onto the scene, he fought for every inch of his success. Born in the gritty streets of New York City, Sylvester Stallone was dealt a rough hand, including a birth injury that left him with that iconic slurred speech and facial droop. Life wasn't kind to him, and for years he struggled as an aspiring actor while facing rejection after rejection. To make ends meet, Stallone took on a variety of odd jobs, including working as a lion cage cleaner at the Bronx Zoo. You heard that right. But Sylvester was relentless. In 1976, inspired by a fight he watched between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner, he wrote the screenplay for Rocky in just 3 days. Talk about determination. He famously refused to sell the script unless he could star in it himself, and his gamble paid off when Rocky became a blockbuster hit. But fame didn't necessarily make him a favorite among peers. His intense method acting and perfectionist tendencies often led to on-set clashes. With a reputation for being difficult, Stallone has always walked the line between genius and grump. And just when you think his journey is over, wait for the next star to steal the spotlight. A musical legend who turned heartbreak into anthems of empowerment. Who could it be? Well, just stay tuned and find out. From struggles to stardom, Selena Gomez, America's sweetheart, has a story that's as colorful as her extensive wardrobe. Born in Grand Prairie, Texas, this pop icon's life wasn't all glitz and glam from the get-go. You see, Selena faced her fair share of challenges. Her family experienced financial instability and her parents split when she was just 5 years old. Yet, this determined diva turned her pain into passion. She got her first break on Barney and Friends, which introduced her to the world of acting, but it wasn't until her role in Wizards of Waverly Place that she truly began to shine. She put on some witchcraft and now everyone in the world knows her name. Despite her rise to fame, Selena has not been immune to the harsh criticisms that come with being in the spotlight. Rumors of diva-like behavior have trailed her, leading some to describe her as difficult in interviews. But let's not forget, navigating fame while battling health issues, including lupus, has added layers to her character. Today, Selena stands tall as a multifaceted star, music, acting, fashion. She's done it all. And with her own production company and chart-topping hits, she's a beacon of resilience. If you think that's impressive, stay tuned because the next celebrity in our rags to riches saga is none other than the charismatic Mark Wahlberg.
Into the dressing room and say hi. My daughter's there with her best friend, and they were both on their contraptions, and they never looked up to say hi, but they've been together for 2 days now, and they've never looked at each other to talk about anything either. Like, why did you want to bring her? You could have just connected with her via...
How old is your daughter?
13.
Who has his own wild ride from the streets to the silver screen. From the rough streets of Boston to Hollywood's A-list, Mark Wahlberg's story is one of redemption and reinvention. Growing up in a large family, Mark had a tumultuous childhood marked by poverty and brushes with the law. I mean, by the time he hit his teenage years, he was no stranger to trouble. even serving 45 days in jail for assault. But rather than letting his past define him, Wahlberg channeled his energy into the world of music, becoming the frontman of the funky hip-hop group Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And while his music career laid the groundwork, it was his undeniable charm and rugged good looks that eventually catapulted him into acting. However, not everyone has had glowing reviews about working with the star. Whispers of him being tough on set have circulated, with tales of Wahlberg's intense commitment leading to clashes with directors and co-stars. Yet behind the scenes, he's emerged as a savvy businessman, launching successful ventures like Wahlburgers and producing hit films. His journey is a perfect example of overcoming obstacles and reinventing oneself in the public eye. And if Mark's story had you shocked, then get ready, because the next person's story was basically Mission Impossible. I know it's hard to imagine, but there was a time when young Tom Cruise was just a fresh-faced teenager with dreams bigger than Hollywood's sign.
People know you and take pictures of you. What's that like?
It's very strange, actually. It is a strange thing going there. It has its benefits, but it's also, sometimes it's very surprising.
Hustling to make his mark in the entertainment world. Born on July 3rd, 1962 in Syracuse, New York, his early years were anything but glamorous. With a father who had an abusive presence and a mother who worked multiple jobs to support the family, young Tom learned resilience from the get-go. With a tumultuous childhood that saw the family moving frequently, Cruz channeled his turbulent experiences into a passion for acting. In the early 80s, he landed small roles, but it was his breakthrough performance in Risky Business that catapulted him into the spotlight. Sadly, success did not come without its hiccups. The charming actor quickly garnered a reputation for being somewhat of a diva on set, with stories circulating about his intense focus and high expectations from co-stars and crew alike. But hey, when you're this talented, can you blame him? Today, Cruz is known as one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood, with iconic films like Top Gun and Mission Impossible under his belt. With the thrilling roller coaster of his life so far, all we can wonder is, who could possibly be next on our Hollywood heroes rags to riches list? And if that had you thinking, stay tuned, because up next we have a superhero who faced demons of his own. From troubled star to Hollywood's golden boy, Robert Downey Jr.'s story is the stuff of cinematic legends.
Every movie I see in, but is there any scenes that you go, I don't feel comfortable, I'm not, or is there anything where you're like, can we do another take? Or, because that just seems like you got
First of all, my dirty secret is I'm not actually all that good.
Born April 4th, 1965 in New York City, he was practically destined for stardom, thanks to his filmmaker father, Robert Downey Jr. But don't be fooled by the glamour of Hollywood. This kid had a rocky road ahead of himself. As a child, he was introduced to the world of drugs at a tender age, which spiraled into a chaotic battle with addiction that would plague him for decades. Fast forward to the 80s and 90s, where a young Downey dazzled audiences with his charisma and talent in films like Less Than Zero and Chaplin. But behind the scenes, it was a different story, with multiple arrests and rehab stints. The tabloids loved to paint him as a quintessential bad boy of Hollywood, a title he wore like a badge of honor. His reputation took a hit, and he often left people in the industry scratching their heads wondering if he'd ever make a comeback. Thankfully, in a twist that feels like a Hollywood script, Downey staged an epic resurgence with his role as Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Today, he's not just an actor, but a cultural phenomenon, beloved for his wit and charm, making many wonder, what's next for this comeback kid? And there you have it, folks. Our top picks of celebrities who rose from rags to riches, with each celeb being evidence of their resilience, talent, and sheer determination. Their stories remind us that no matter how tough the start, greatness can be achieved with hard work and passion. So what do you think? Did we miss anybody? Which inspiring journey resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration in celebrity success stories, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more uplifting tales and exciting updates from the world of fame. Until next time, keep dreaming big, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes the greatest stories come from the humblest beginnings. We'll catch you in the next video.